We will continue with the debate tomorrow. Secretary General.
Consideration of bills.
I now call upon the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Economy, Civil Service, Communications, Housing and Community Development, the Honorable Ayaz Syed Kayu, to move his motion. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to Standing Order 51, I move that A, the Customs Tariff Amendment Number 3, Bill 2021, be considered by Parliament without delay. B, the bill must pass through one stage of the single sitting of Parliament. C, that the bill must not be referred to a standing committee or other committee of Parliament. And D, that the bill must be debated and voted upon by Parliament on Thursday, 2nd of December, and that 1 hour be given to debate the bill, the right of reply given to me as a member moving the motion. Thank you, sir.
Is there a seconder?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to second the motion.
I now call on the Honorable Attorney General to speak on his motion. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, this is a very standard amendment to the schedule. It's what you call a non-clemature, which is the provision that's given out by the World Customs Organization, which all the countries in the world have to adhere to. It's simply just amending the schedule with these codes. It's very basic. It's a code throughout the world, which we have to adhere to. The tariff rates do not change. We simply are just putting ourselves in alignment. I had notified Parliament of this, that it will happen. The World Customs Organization has now come out with the reconfiguration of the tariff codes. You'll see all the codes are there, and it's simply us adopting it in our law. So do not get overwhelmed by the size, Honorable Prasad. Size does not matter in this sense. What it actually does mean is that the codes are simply being adopted, sir. Thank you.
Honorable members, the floor is now open for debate on the motion. At the end of the debate, we'll have a reply from the mover. Any members wishing to take the floor? Honorable Bibin Prasad, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm certainly not overwhelmed by this. I know what it is. But, Mr. Speaker, as I said before, there are two other bills, and I'm going to make a general point, so I'm not going to speak when the Honourable Attorney General presents the other two bills. This is just a general point about Standing Order 51 that we've talked about. I mean, I know you, Honourable Speaker, you did say that you would allow urgent government matters. That's fine with me. But yesterday we got the minutes around 10 p.m. and in the minutes also we were not told how many bills. It just said bills. Now all I want to say, Mr. Speaker, I know these two other bills. We could have debate on it as well. But what we've been saying is we need to understand. I mean, I know, the Honorable Attorney General, he's the Attorney General of Fiji, he's the Minister of Economy. But Mr. Speaker, you are the Speaker of the Parliament. Secretary General is the Secretary General of Parliament. These are constitutional positions. The independence of the Parliament, is very, very important. And what we are saying is, we've been doing these things for a long time. I mean, the Attorney General will pop up with a bill, without informing the Business Committee in the last minute. I mean, we're not even given the details of what the bills are going to be. I mean, Parliament, Mr. Speaker, like every other independent institution, the executive cannot consider your office or the Secretary General's office as an arm of the executive government. The executive government is accountable to this Parliament. We in the opposition, Mr. Speaker, can also ask for an urgent motion, urgent oral question, and we know we've been denied some of these things in the past. And I am seriously concerned that there is lack of convention, lack of, I might say, ethics, in terms of treating the parliament, members of the opposition, with some dignity and respect. I mean, you might as well not have the business committee, Mr. Speaker said. We could save $2,000 for every sitting, in terms of allowance and all that, and do everything by flying minute. I mean, government ought to have some timetable, they can't just pop up. I mean, at least they should come to the business committee and tell us. And this session is an extraordinary session. I mean, it is not about government business. It's about debating His Excellency's address. So, popping in bills in between. I mean, it could be the bill on medicinal products, could be urgent. I don't know if the medicinal board, why is it not sitting and approving if there is need for approval? It doesn't have to go to the minister all the time. I mean, it means that the board is not functioning, if you want to suddenly bring this bill. So these are the kind of things that we have said before, Mr. Speaker. And we don't want the government to dictate how the parliament should operate. And they should not be putting pressure on you, sir, and also on the Secretary General of Parliament, to be able to railroad things that they want at short notice, because, it just makes the mockery of the way in which the Parliament ought to be. And you know that very well, Mr. Speaker. And you try all your best to do that. But I think the government, Mr. Speaker, must lend some decency. Have some respect. Not only for us in the opposition, but for you, sir, as well. And for the Secretary General.
Order.
So, I mean, it's for us. It's for us. I mean, the Honourable Attorney General is always fond of saying we have to protect the Speaker. We have the responsibility as well, Mr. Speaker. We feel it's important that the independence of the Parliament and the way in which the Speaker of the Parliament and the Secretary General of the Parliament is allowed to decide things must be respected by government. They must not get into this bullying habit, which they do in the business committee, Mr. Speaker. So, we oppose this kind of backdoor, last minute, railroading these last minute bills. I mean, we understand the urgency of some of these bills. We will accept that. We supported this in the past. Don't come at 10 o'clock in the night and say, I've got bills. We don't even know how many bills. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I thank the honourable member for his comments. Anyone else wishing to take the floor? Let me just, since no one else wishes to take the floor, let me just say this about what the Honourable Biman Prasad has said. No one puts pressure on the Speaker. No one. You take that from me. No one has put pressure on me as a Speaker here or any of my appointments that I've held. I don't go down to that. I do the job. Listen. I do the job that I am appointed to do. Now, if I'm woken up at the middle of the night by the Secretary General because there's an urgent matter, I expect other members of the Business Committee to be woken up as well. It doesn't worry me. But my job is to ensure that government business is carried out. But everyone has the opportunity when that government business is carried out to debate that on the floor of the House, and that's what we're doing. Sometimes it might be inconvenient. I tell you it's inconvenient for me, but on this occasion, I think the urgency of this is needed. So we have to carry that out. We won't have another meeting of Parliament until next year. So this is the time when we can complete the urgent business that needs to be done. And that was the thing, it's the urgency of the matter. Don't take it for granted that anything that government wishes is carried out. I consider it very carefully before I agree. Honourable members, anyone else wishing to make a statement? There being none, Honourable Attorney General, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I do feel compelled to respond to Honourable Prasad's statement. Mr. Speaker, sir, I thank you, sir, for clarifying that, because we have never, as you would testify, sir, we have never seen the Secretary General to Parliament, nor your good officer, as an extension of the executive. This is a narrative that the opposition has tried to peddle, and in fact, no, there's no good reason, Honourable Gavoka. The Honourable Speaker has just clarified. See, this is the problem. The problem is you have a narrative, and irrespective of the facts, you will still harp on the narrative. It's a fundamental issue. Honourable Prasad, and I've said this before, sir, he is a permanent member of the Business Committee, but he shows his condescension by not turning up to those meetings. And if he did turn up to those meetings, he would also know that whenever we've had information on the bill, sir, we have informed, Mr. Speaker, sir, we have informed the Business Committee of the content of those bills. Whenever we've had the opportunity, we've always commented on the upcoming bills. We've done that, and the minutes will actually reflect it, sir. In this particular instance, obviously we weren't there, and obviously, Mr. Speaker, sir, we weren't able to give all the information. Mr. Speaker, sir, and I think that is kind of, this condescension of the office, I think it is not actually, does not augur well, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, the other point that we'd like to make is that this particular the harmonization of the non-clementure is essentially in alignment with international standards. All the countries in the world are adopting this. There's nothing scientific about this. It's just simply including it in our schedule. The tariff codes are everywhere in the world. He went on about the other bills, Mr. Speaker, sir, and seeing that he's opened the door on that, sir, the other two bills are also urgent. We're giving Honourable Minister for Health the opportunity to be able to allow the importation, and you'll see that in the explanatory notes about COVID testing equipment, because the medicinal board is made up of individuals, and some of these individuals are putting restrictions on the ability of pharmacies to actually sell or import these products. We have COVID-19 in this country, Mr. Speaker, sir. We want as many suppliers as possible of the rapid test and the PCR test, because that will bring down the cost. That's why it's been introduced. Similarly, we have the Hotel Licensing Board. We are simply saying now, Honourable Gavoka should know this, he was a hotelier before, that every year a hotelier had to go and file for a license, annual renewal, every year. What we are saying now, sir, is that the hotel wants a license up to 5 years, they'll get it. This is giving confidence. We still have a number of hotels in the Mamanudas, in the Yasawas that have not opened doors. And they want to open doors. It gives them confidence to be able to get a license for a longer period. This is helping the economy. That's all there is. If you read the bills, they're very short. And there's no significant impact on anybody, apart from actually creating a particular robustness within the specific area. So, Mr. Speaker, I really cannot understand what the issue is. We have also, Mr. Speaker, so it's not like they have to read the whole book. They've got 4 days. 4 days to read these bills. And we've got 1 hour each for each of these bills to be debated, if there's going to be any debate. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would urge members to please read the bills, and we can then debate them on Thursday. Thank you, sir.
Honourable members, the Parliament will now vote. The question is pursuant to Standing Orders 51, A, that the Customs Tariff Amendment Number 3, Bill 2021 be considered by Parliament without delay. B, that the bill must pass through one stage at a single sitting of Parliament. C, that the bill must not be referred to a standing committee or other committee of Parliament. And D, that the bill must be debated and voted upon by Parliament on Thursday, 2nd December 2021, but that 1 hour be given to debate the bill with the right of reply given to the Honourable Attorney General as the member moving the motion. Does any member oppose the motion? No. As no member opposes, the motion is agreed to unanimously. Secretary General.
Consideration of bills.
I now call upon the Honourable Attorney General to move his motion. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to Standing Order 51, I move that the Hotel and Guest House Amendment Bill 2021 be considered by Parliament without delay, that the bill must pass through one stage at a single sitting of Parliament, that the bill must not be referred to a standing committee or other committee of Parliament, and that the bill must be debated and voted upon by Parliament on Thursday, 2nd December 2021, and that 1 hour be given to debate the bill with the right reply given to me as the member moving the motion. Thank you, sir.
Is there a seconder?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to second the motion.
I now call on the Honourable Attorney General to speak on his motion. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, as highlighted earlier on, this particular bill again simply seeks to give the ability under the law for hotel licenses to be issued for a term up to 5 years. So it is up to the person seeking the application to operate the hotel, whether they want the license for 1 year or 5 years. This, of course, creates efficiency. We talked about ease of doing business. This puts less burden because every year when you apply, which is the current position, 3 months before you have to prepare all the documents, you have to put in all the documentation together and make that application process. This essentially what it does, Mr. Speaker, sir, gives the hotel the ability to apply for a longer period of license, removes the administrative cost for them, and also, Mr. Speaker, so the existing law does empower the hotel licensing board to be able to, in the period, so for example, if somebody makes an application for 5 years and they get the license for 5 years, it gives the licensing board the ability to go onto the premises and see if there's a complaint made to be able to verify that they're actually complying with the license. So it does actually create a lot of certainty and within the tourism sector itself. So I urge members to support this thing. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Honourable members, the floor is now open for debate on the motion. At the end of the debate, we will have a right of reply from the movement. Does anyone wishing to take the floor? Since no one wishes to take the floor, Honourable Attorney General, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. I have no further comments. Thank you.
Honourable members, the Parliament will now vote. The question is, pursuant to Standing Orders 51, A, that the Hotels and Guest Houses Amendment Bill 2021 be considered by Parliament without delay. B, that the bill must pass through one stage at a single sitting of Parliament. C, that the bill must not be referred to a standing committee or other committee of Parliament. And D, that the bill must be debated and voted upon by Parliament on Thursday, 2nd December 2021, but that 1 hour be given to debate the bill with the right of reply given to the Honourable Attorney General as the member moving this motion. Does any member oppose the motion? No. As no member opposes, the motion is agreed to unanimously. Secretary General.
Consideration of bills.
I now call upon the Honourable Attorney General to move his motion. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to Standing Order 51, I move that the Medicinal Products Amendment Bill number 2, 2021 be considered by Parliament without delay. That the bill must pass through one stage at a single sitting of Parliament. The bill must not be referred to a standing committee or other committee of Parliament, and the bill must be debated and voted upon by Parliament on Thursday, 2nd December, and the 1 hour be given to debate the bill with the right reply given to me as the member moving the motion. Thank you, sir.
Is there a seconder?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to second the motion.
I now call on the Honourable Attorney General to speak on his motion. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, just this is a matter of urgency, sir. Currently, Section 35 of the Act actually provides for the requirement to acquire a license from the Fiji Medicinal Products Board to import, manufacture, export, store, distribute, sell, or offer for sale any product regulated under the Act. While the Minister responsible for health and medical services is empowered to exempt certain products which, in the opinion of the Minister, are safe for general use and specified by regulations made under the Act, the Minister may only make such an exemption in relation to the storage, distribution, sale, or offer of sale. The Minister, however, Mr. Speaker, sir, cannot make an exemption in relation to the import, manufacture, or export of products. Mr. Speaker, sir, as highlighted earlier on, we are getting tourists coming in. One of the requirements under the health protocols we've set up is that a person who comes, for example, from Australia has to do a PCR test in Australia 72 hours before they get on the plane. When they come to Fiji, of course they have to be negative. When they come to Fiji, within the 2 or 3 days, they have to do a rapid test. And the rapid test actually has to be paid for by them. And Mr. Speaker, sir, then before they leave, for example, if they're going back to Sydney, Australia will only accept them if they do another PCR test. And so, for example, Mr. Speaker, sir, if at the moment, if people are being charged $250 to do a PCR test on their way back home, and there's a family of 4, that's $1,000. If they are being charged $40 to do a rapid test when they arrive in Fiji, that's another $160. Now, we obviously need to have a number of products and also people who actually can do the testing other than the Ministry of Health. They've got other things to do. We've seen a number or a couple of medical service providers from the private sector now come on board. The Ministry of Health wants to get more players in the market. They also want to ensure, and Dr. Fong, he's got a list of all the rapid tests that actually have been approved by WHO. I think there's about 10 or 12 at the moment. The Minister of Health wants to actually not go through this process where the medicinal board has to then say you have to get a license, etc. He wants to allow for those rapid tests and those brands to come into Fiji by many as possible. So if there's many players in the market, the tourists will actually have to pay less money. So the hotels actually have a choice of products to choose from. It is also what we've seen now, Mr. Speaker, so it's creating a lot of jobs in the private sector. Because a lot of the hotels are now engaging, for example, in Diasas, Zens, and various other people who've been approved to actually provide those services. They are hiring, recruiting medical technicians. They are hiring lab technicians. They are hiring nurses, etc. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, what we want to do is take a holistic view, and this is the holistic view, which is to provide an ecosystem as far as the COVID-19 protocols are concerned, that we have good pricing, so tourists, when sitting in Sydney, does not say, oh, if I go to Fiji, before I go to Fiji, I have to do my test for the 4 of us, pay probably $250, $300, whatever they charge in Australia, come to Fiji, then fork out another, say, $140 or $160, and before I leave Fiji, I have to fork out another $1,000. And by the way, Thailand is only charging us $40 each. So where do I go to? So this is precisely the reason why I brought about these amendments. So actually we can have more products available in the market, so there's better pricing. And it's regulated from that perspective. So thus the amendment. Thank you.
Honourable members, the floor is now open for debate on the motion. At the end of the debate, we will have the right of reply from the mover. Anyone wishing to take the floor? No. There's no one wishing to take the floor. Honourable Attorney General, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. I have nothing further to add. Thank you.
Honourable members, the Parliament will now vote. The question is pursuant to Standing Orders 51. A, that the Medicinal Products Amendment Number 2, Bill 2021, be considered by Parliament without delay. B, that the bill must pass through one stage at a single sitting of Parliament. C, that the bill must not be referred to a standing committee or other committee of Parliament. And D, that the bill must be debated and voted upon by Parliament on Thursday, 2nd December 2021, but that 1 hour be given to debate the bill with the right of reply given to the Honourable Attorney General as the member moving this motion. Does any member oppose the motion? As no member opposes, the motion is agreed to unanimously. Thank you, honourable members. We'll move on. That is, move on out. Honourable members, that brings us to the end of today's sitting. Parliament is now adjourned until tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. We adjourn.